All right, our next topic is really exciting. Reverse dieting 101. This is such a hot topic lately. This is such a trendy thing. People ask, is it too good to be true? Is it complicated? Is it a fad? The answer to all those questions is yes, no, maybe. It really depends on if you understand what it is and if you use it properly. If you do understand how it works, you can absolutely eat more and maintain your weight or lose fat in the future or whatever it is, eating more, being more satiated. That's what it aims to do. First off, this is kind of the question we had just answered. What is a reverse diet? A reverse diet is when we slowly and methodically increase our caloric consumption to raise our metabolism, speed that sucker up, which raises our RMR, or resting metabolic rate. It allows us to eat more at maintenance, which means if we want to lose fat, we don't have to drop calories quite as far. All a reverse diet aims to do is help speed your metabolism up. That's it. If you had some metabolic adaptation or, dare I say, damage, this may help reverse it, hopefully help you fix it. Who's a reverse diet for? Everyone? No, it's not for everybody. I can think of two prime examples of who a reverse diet is for. Number one is probably not you, but this is where it started. Bodybuilders. They just got done competing. They're at 5% body fat, which is not healthy or a great idea to be at for a long period of time. It's not sustainable. And now it's time for them to start eating normal again, hopefully, and get to a healthy body fat again, hopefully. But they don't want to eat all those calories at once. They don't want to go from where they were to what would be maintenance, because your body, when you're so metabolically adapted and not doing so good, you're primed to store fat. They won't all at once increase the calories. They'll do it kind of, systematically, slowly. The second person, which is more likely you, is the person who's yo-yo dieted forever. You're having trouble losing weight. You feel like you eat 800 calories a day. You have nowhere to go. And you look at food and you get fat. And you're jealous of all the people that you perceive can eat whatever they want and not gain an ounce, which sometimes is true, sometimes isn't. So this second person is much more likely to be you, because that's something that a lot more people deal with rather than being like a bodybuilder. Spoiler alert, there's a third person too. You're looking at him. Me. I'm really happy with my maintenance calories. I'm happy the way I'm eating right now. I'm eating a good amount. I feel great. But if I could eat more and maintain and get to eat more fun stuff during the day that I enjoy, that would be terrific. This could be something I do because it'll help me feel good, help my well being, all that good stuff. And it's also going to help me in the future if I decide to lower my body fat more because I have a higher starting point. So that higher starting point means I don't have to pull my calories down as low to lose fat. Hopefully, I've explained to you what a reverse diet is. Hopefully, you understand why you might want to do one, but how do you do one? How do you do a reverse diet? This is where we have a little issue. You see, despite what you may think, I am not a doctor. I am not a certified nutritionist, kinesiologist, exercise scientist. I don't have a PhD in lateral arm movements. The only thing I'm a doctor in is love. Calling Dr. Love. They call me Dr. Love. They call me Doc. I'm sorry, Kiss was like my first big band. I was Ace Frehley for Halloween. I could show you pictures. But even though I don't have my master's in expertness, I do love reading studies and science and research. And there are people that I rely on who are doctors, and I trust some of them because they have a good track record. I mean, I hope I'm someone who can help bring it to you in a way that you find enjoyable, that you can understand, that's like not doctor speaky, and is like, yeah, hey, I understand that. I want to try that. That's my goal. That's what I hope I can offer you. So, what's the problem with all the doctors out there doing the science and research and me reading it and trying to understand it and bring it to you? Well, they don't agree. They know that they want to raise metabolism. They know the idea of it. They know there's a thought behind it that makes a lot of sense, but how to do it, they can't all agree on. So I, Charlie, am going to give you my step-by-step recommendation for how I recommend your reverse diet, because this is what's worked for me in the past. But before I tell you how to do it, look at me dangling fruit. I'm dangling fruit. There is a bigger problem than even how to do it. And it's a much bigger problem. Or it actually just might be really cool. I don't know. I was just trying to be all suspenseful and stuff. So the second issue, I'll call it, is we're increasing caloric consumption to rev our metabolism, but there's got to be like an in-between phase, because at the same time, we should be putting on a little bit of weight, right, before our metabolism is raised and we can cut again and all that stuff. Me, for example, my hair is really long right now. There was a time when my hair was really short. There's an in between phase when people are like, is he growing his hair out or does he just need a haircut? So, yeah, there should be a reverse diet in between phase where you may gain a little bit before you lose a lot, usually, but not always. Sometimes with reverse diets, we see people who start the reverse diets and they just start losing fat right away. Now, science can't explain this. I can't explain it, but I have a theory. What if some people have been so calorically limited for so long that their body gets really, really, really sensitive to the increase in calories, much like caffeine, right? Coffee. If I drink coffee every day, I have 3, 4 cups, no effect. If I stop drinking it and I start drinking it again, that caffeine is going to be a lot more potent. What if that's what's happening with reverse dieting? I'm trying not to use the term metabolic damage because I don't even know what that means. But I do think if you've kind of beat your metabolism to a point, decreasing, 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 there's a chance just for the first time stimulating calories in a while, your metabolism may just be raring to go. It may want to be at full speed, it just needs the impetus. And the reverse diet may just be that impetus. This is a really cool prospect. But the great news is, even if, you're someone who you have to go through that in-between phase, that's okay. You're doing this because it's a marathon, right? It's not a sprint. So you're doing something now so later you can live better for the rest of your life. That's the idea. All right, here it is. Step by step. How do I recommend you reverse diet? Number one, just like our fat loss episode, just like our maintenance episode, we must know how much we are eating. We must count calories so we know what our baseline is. We can't adjust calories up or down unless we know where they are right now. The reason this is so important too is if you think you're eating 800 calories a day and you're like, oh my God, this reverse diet thing Charlie's talking about, it sounds great. And then you start counting calories and you realize you're eating like 2,000, 3,000 calories a day, depending on your size, you may not need a reverse diet. You may need a fat loss phase. So one, count calories, at least for a little while. You don't have to do it forever. Number two, we are going to weigh ourselves every day, or at least every other day, and we are going to average the weights. I think the scale may be a little more valuable in the reverse diet phase because of number three. We are going to give ourselves a grace amount of weight. If I'm a 200-pound male and I want to get to 175, let's say I give myself a grace weight of 5 to 7 pounds. That means in order to get to 175, I'm going to allow myself to get from 205 to 207 in that in-between phase while I'm revving my metabolism by caloric increase. I'm doing this so when the reverse diet is over, I can lose a lot more weight, be a lot happier, health and wellness, not feel like I'm starving myself, all that good stuff. So another reason you always want to average your scale weights, like I've talked about in other episodes, is you have water fluctuations from salt, from water retention, from the sheer volume of food. There are too many weight variables to just assume weighing yourself once a week that you're gaining or losing weight. Don't do that. You're going to make yourself nuts. For that reason, too, we're going to try to eat as many of the same foods as we can consistently. Are you always going to be perfect at this? No, you're not. But the idea is if you usually eat a certain way and then on a Saturday you get, 5 cartons of pork fried rice and lo mein, and, on a Sunday you have half a pizza, even if it's calorically within where you want to be, your weight's going to go nuts. You're going to go crazy. So don't do that. You're not going to be perfect. Do your best. Number four, we're going to create a small caloric surplus. So what that means is you've counted your calories, you're eating 1,500 calories a day. In the first week, we're going to go up to, let's say, 1,550. We're going to see what happens. We're going to give our metabolism a chance to adjust. Now, you may not be losing weight, but you also may not be gaining weight with the caloric increase as your metabolism adjusts, and that is a win. We're going to slowly and incrementally increase calories. This is going to look different for everybody, but for example, I might go from 1,550 that week, see how I'm feeling, check out my weight, I'm doing okay. How are we feeling? How's our exercise? How's our brain? How is our sleep? This is all really important stuff. Okay, so after a week at 1,550, I feel good. Next week, 1,600 calories, so on and so forth. The key here is we are checking in with ourselves and we're seeing how we are feeling. That's just as important as anything else we're doing. Number five, we are going to lift heavy weights, strength training, and we're also going to take progress pictures weekly. Why? Well, You're creating a small caloric surplus here. Let's take advantage of it. Let's build some muscle. Your muscles may really respond, especially if you haven't really been in a surplus for a long time. The same way your metabolism may be raring to go, your muscles may be just opt to grow. And this is a great way to take advantage of that. Also, muscle gain is only going to help further your metabolism in the future. It's only going to make it better. If we're responding to training really well and we're gaining more muscle, more glycogen in our muscles, all that stuff, the scale also may go up for that reason too, which is why we need to take the pictures too. Let's say that after 2 months or 3 months, you've been reverse dieting and the scale has gone up from 200 to 207, right? That's the limit you gave yourself. But you look at the pictures and you're like, oh my God, I look great. I actually look leaner. I look more muscular. Now we're in body recomp territory, which can happen. That's usually when you're trying to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. You may determine, I'm looking great, I'm feeling great, I don't want to stop the reverse diet yet. That's okay too. That's why you never solely rely on the scale. You take pictures as well, and you have to be able to look at where you were 2 weeks ago or a month ago and compare it to now. If you're trending in a great direction, keep going. Last week, when I was talking about body recomp on the episode, I actually said this is where you gain muscle and gain fat. I'm sorry for my new dad brain here. It's gain muscle and lose fat. All right, so now we've reverse dieted for a while. Hopefully, we've revved our metabolism. We're eating more food. We feel good. Now we have to make a choice. What do we do next? One, like I said earlier, if you're feeling good and you're either putting on muscle or losing fat, ultimately, if it's a positive experience, keep going, until it's not. You don't have to stop. That's up to you. You may think that you wanted to reverse diet for 8 weeks. You end up doing it for 6 months. Number two, we go into maintenance mode. So, all right, you now realize that you've assisted your metabolism. You're in a great place, and you don't want to cut yet. You want to just eat some more, enjoy it, keep trying to build muscle without being in a deficit. You want to feel good. You can go into maintenance. It's going to be easier to put on muscle in the maintenance phase as well. We talked about that last episode. That's a totally fine choice. It's also a great idea around the holidays. I don't recommend you bulk or cut around the holidays. Number three is fat loss mode. This is when the reverse diet has gone exactly the way we wanted. We've increased calories. We've put ourselves in a position where our metabolism has sped up, and now we are primed to lose fat. We can cut calories not quite as low, start losing fat, and our metabolism is supercharged. So it's going to be a lot easier to burn that fat. That's the third option, which again, if you've struggled with fat loss and you feel like you have a lot of fat to lose, that might be the option for you. Now, the last thing I want to touch on in reverse dieting is the length of a reverse diet is going to vary tremendously from person to person. If you've metabolically really been messing yourself up a little for a while, I've heard of people, I have not, but I've heard of people reverse dieting for like a year before they're where they want to be. If you just need a little boost, it may be weeks or even months. I don't know. Give yourself that wiggle room. Understand that, you didn't get to where you are in a few weeks. It may take a little longer to get to where you want to be. It doesn't mean you can't do it. Be gentle with yourself. So that's reverse dieting 101. Let me know if you've done a reverse diet. Let me know if you think it's right for you, and let me know if you're going to try one in the future. I'd love to hear from you.